Imagine a tiny invader that's too small to see but capable of causing enormous disruption. It slips through your defenses, hijacks your cells, and takes over your body's machinery. This is how viruses work. So, what really happens when a virus enters your body? It's not just a simple infection, it's a sophisticated battle between your immune system and the virus itself. When a virus enters, it doesn't come with a loud announcement. It's sneaky, entering through your eyes, mouth, nose, or skin. Once inside, the virus is looking for one thing: a host cell to infect. The first thing it needs to do is find a cell that it can enter. Every virus has a specific type of cell it can infect, based on the receptors on the surface of your cells. It's a lock and key system. Think of the virus as having a key, and your cells have locks made of proteins that the virus can bind to. Let's take the flu virus, for example. The flu virus has proteins on its surface called hemagglutinin, which binds to specific sugar molecules found on the surface of cells in your respiratory system. Once it binds, the virus is able to enter the cell through a process called endocytosis, where the virus essentially gets engulfed by the cell, bringing the viral particles into the interior. Inside, the virus sheds its protective coat, and now its genetic material, either DNA or RNA, can start taking over the cell. If it's an RNA virus like the flu, it has to convert its RNA into something the cell can read and use. This is where the virus starts its real takeover. It hijacks the cell's machinery, the ribosomes, the enzymes, everything it needs to replicate. It starts making more copies of its own RNA, using the cell to churn out viral proteins and more copies of itself. And that's not the end of it. Once the virus has made enough new viral particles, it's time to spread. The cell, often damaged by this process, either bursts open or sheds viral particles into your body, releasing hundreds or even thousands of new viruses. These new viruses are now free to attack nearby cells, continuing the cycle of infection. But your immune system doesn't just sit back and watch this happen. As soon as the virus enters your body, your immune system springs into action. White blood cells like macrophages and dendritic cells are the first responders. They can see the invader and gobble up virus particles, digesting them in a process called phagocytosis. As they break down the virus, they process its proteins and present them on their surface, which sends out a signal to other immune cells, calling for backup. This starts the chain reaction of immune defense. Meanwhile, another group of immune cells, T cells, are working to identify and destroy cells already infected with the virus. They do this by recognizing viral proteins on the surface of infected cells. When they find a cell presenting the right signal, they unleash toxins that destroy the infected cell, effectively cutting off the virus's ability to reproduce. This is what's known as the cell-mediated immune response, and it's one of your body's most powerful weapons in the fight against infection. The immune system's antibodies also enter the picture. These are specialized proteins made by B cells. Antibodies target specific parts of the virus, usually the proteins on the surface that allow it to enter cells. Once they bind to these proteins, antibodies neutralize the virus, preventing it from entering new cells. This helps prevent the virus from spreading further. The antibodies can also mark the virus for destruction by other immune cells, a process known as opsonization. In the process of fighting back, your immune system makes a powerful memory. If you've encountered this virus before, your immune system remembers it. This is why, after you recover from an infection like the flu, you're often immune to that specific strain for a while, because your body has created a library of antibodies tailored just to that virus. This is the basis of immunological memory, which is why vaccines are so effective. They teach your body how to fight a virus without making you sick. However, viruses aren't just sitting ducks in this battle. They're constantly evolving, adapting to new defenses. This is why the flu virus changes every year, with new strains appearing that can evade the immune response. Antigenic drift and antigenic shift are the terms used to describe these changes in the virus's surface proteins, which makes it harder for the immune system to recognize and fight the virus. This is why we need new flu vaccines every season. What happens next depends on how quickly and efficiently your immune system responds. If it works well, you might only experience mild symptoms or none at all. Your body starts to clear the virus, and the infected cells are destroyed. But if the immune response is too slow, or if the virus overwhelms the system, you might experience more severe symptoms: fever, fatigue, body aches, and congestion. And sometimes, viruses can be particularly clever. HIV, for instance, directly attacks the very immune cells that are supposed to protect you, weakening the immune system over time. Herpes virus can go into latency, hiding in nerve cells for years and reactivating when your immune system is compromised. These are examples of how viruses can adapt to evade the immune system, turning a once clear battle into a long-term war. The ultimate goal of your immune system is to restore balance. Once the virus is cleared, memory cells remain on alert, ready to spring into action if the virus tries to invade again. The body repairs the damage caused by infection, and over time, the symptoms subside, leaving you stronger and more prepared to handle a future encounter with the same pathogen. But this process isn't always perfect. Sometimes the virus wins, or the immune system's reaction is too exaggerated, leading to symptoms like inflammation or damage to healthy tissues. This is why infections can sometimes lead to complications, and why the immune system can sometimes overreact in conditions like autoimmune diseases. What happens when a virus enters your body is a complex and fascinating sequence of events, a battle between the virus trying to replicate and your immune system's determined effort to stop it. Understanding this process is not just essential for fighting infections, it's also key to how we develop vaccines, treatments, and our understanding of disease. The more we know about the virus's tactics and the immune system's strategies, the better prepared we are to protect ourselves from the invisible invaders.